Kennedy Croft, Penner, very capable player, and Tallarico are the starters for the Zags in the second of two matchups between West Coast Conference foes. For the BYU Cougars and their head coach, Heather Olmstead. She will start Taylin Ballard-Nixon, Lariness, Dodson, Livingston, so some freshman power there in the middle part of that graphic. Kate Grimmer, Whitney Bauer, who was, as Amy said, all over the floor last night, and Maddie Allen, the sensational freshman libero, who had 13 assists last night as a libero.
That means you're playing a lot of transition defense, right? You're digging a lot of balls that aren't perfect to the net, and yet able to somehow execute.
Speaking with Johnny Neely, the assistant coach, he said, typically she's not going to be the person that offers up the second contact, but she was so good last night. We said, yeah, keep doing it. First point underway here in the Smith Fieldhouse. There is Allen with the dig. Bauer sets Grimmer on the outside off the block. Tallarico is there. And Daya sets Croft. And there's the key phrase for Gonzaga, tool of the block.
Tool of the block, out of bounds. I think it helps if you'll notice that that set is so quick to the outside. So already you've got that momentum that is kind of just moving outside the court as well. So all these players have to do on the outside is just kind of help it along. It's already tied to the net. You just use the hands that are in front of you.
And Daya offers up a service error. One apiece, early set one. Great to have you with us. Part of our BYU TV broadcast. Very busy February to May we have planned for you. Volleyball, just one of the high-level sports that you can see a ton of on BYUtv.org and BYU TV. The Zags, this time finding Sarah Penner on the outside. Penner was the one that got the Zags going last night early.
Penner's so good. As a senior, she's so smart. She's quick. She's aggressive. She goes after it every time she swings.
2-1 Gonzaga. Wee receives for BYU. Back set from Bauer, blocked. Grimmer there to cover. Bauer switches up sides, goes to Ballard-Nixon. Tallarico handles that. Maddie Allen with a dig. Look at that contact. Grimmer tip shot. Tallarico in place. BYU's defense handles that attempt from Gonzaga, and we play on. Now the Zags will try and get it done with Penner. She goes high over hands and long, out for a BYU point. Good rally by both teams there.
Right, it's good to see both teams kind of come out strong in this first set. You see defensively, they're in good position. Everyone's making nice, high, solid swings, and it's clear that each player and each team is going to make the other work for every single point.
Maddie Allen into the net. Side out back to Gonzaga. The Bulldogs with a 3-2 lead. Heather Olmstead, part of a BYU program that has been ranked inside the top 17 for 109 consecutive weeks.
Really tough to do.
Ballard-Nixon off the block. Theros, an ambitious effort, and it goes advantage BYU as that is hit long.
I think we saw good evidence right there of Allen kind of stepping in to set there. Anytime that pass is straight up, she's stepping in. Obviously, Whitney Bauer could get to it, but maybe that high level, high percentage set, if Allen can come up with it, why complicate it?
Set in the middle, through the BYU block. Bauer there to cover. Ballard-Nixon down the line. Nice stab dig by Kennedy Croft. Tip shot comes from Theros. Bauer in the middle, sets Dodson, blocked. Bauer recovers, Maddie Allen. There is that second contact. Ballard-Nixon forced to go with the tip shot. Penner is dug by Grimmer. Ballard-Nixon is dug by Tallarico. It's kept alive by Penner. Bump set, Ballard-Nixon. Why not go a little bit longer in this point? Off the soft block, Maddie Allen. There's the dump kill attempt. Tallarico ready for it. They did their scouting report and homework on Bauer from last night. Tip shot, soft block. Bauer back outside, Ballard-Nixon off the block and out of bounds. That's got to be the longest point of the season.
Are you all right there? That was long-winded for you. Everybody's breathing hard. Incredible defense. Great job on both sides. You can see these Bulldogs are not letting things go. Good dig from Grimmer as well. This is fun volleyball right from the get-go.
4-3 BYU. Free ball to the Cougars. Bauer will set Ballard Nixon again. Getting high and hard out those hands, but Gonzaga recovers. Croft there. Maddie Allen with a dig for BYU. Now Ballard Nixon passes it back over to Gonzaga by necessity. Back set. There's the BYU block. Joust at the net. Leilani Dodson in position. Heads up play. The Cougars take a 2-point advantage.
Get a good look at this swing here. There was a lot of net contact on the way down. That net moving, Dodson really being a presence there in the middle blocking.
Theros off the BYU block and down for a kill. Zoe Theros. That ends a mini BYU run of 3-0.
Theros again, and you can see just how many different players Gonzaga has who have the ability to tool the block. It takes a lot of eye work and study to really attack right on and attack those hands.
Gonzaga has solved Ballard Nixon thus far for the most part. Miscommunication from BYU there. Opportunity for the Zags. Theros delivers once again, and we're tied back up at 5.
Something we haven't seen Gonzaga do is go with their middle. They're really attacking pin to pin, and so far finding a lot of success. I think especially when you've got the shorter blocker out there in Bauer at 5'9", they're going to try to really attack out there as much as they can.
Gonzaga responds with a 3-0 run of their own to take the lead back from BYU at 6-5. Penner with the serve. Bauer cross-court set. Ballard Nixon. And BYU in system. Good pass, good set, powerful kill.
Look at the power from Whitney Bauer. She's moving backwards, which means it's going to take a lot of effort to really push that ball all the way out, but she's able to do it, and Nixon takes advantage with a great cross-court kill.
Nixon wide left. Service error for the Cougars. That's the second of the first set.
I think those service errors mean more when you have worked so hard to get the ball back. I mean, these are very long rallies, and so to get the ball back, you've got to keep that serve in, keep that pressure on.
Well, the Gonzaga Bulldogs give it right back to BYU. 7-all, first set. Leilani Dodson to serve for BYU, the freshman from Illinois. Star from last night. And just a blatant error from the Zags right there. Amy, what happened?
I think just a miscommunication. You know, you call a set, call a play, and then forget and shoot a go to the outside with no one there.
BYU now back in front. Dodson to serve again. 13 kills for the freshman last night. That's a little bit better from the Zags. Juliet Russell with the slam dunk kill.
Russell, again, a player that does really well behind the setter. Gonzaga likes to run that play, even though it's not quick, because they've picked a gap where the block has to come together. It really opens up some holes that they can attack.
Russell serving now after the big kill. Back line, Ballard Nixon. Penner down for the dig. Croft is blocked, but out of bounds. Kennedy Croft and Gonzaga. Gritty performance here in set 1.
And Croft again just attacking. You see how tight that set goes. It's really hard to attack. And I think we saw yesterday, that's what happened when BYU lost, one of their middles. Allie Hakes went down because there's so much traffic there right along the center line with those tight sets.
And we should note that number 16, Allie Hakes, who Amy just talked about, as well as BYU's All-American candidate, Kennedy Eschenberg, both out in the middle. Still with injuries, one with a knee, the other with an ankle. BYU trying to respond and figure some things out. Leilani Dodson has been the answer thus far. As we take a look at the replay from point number 10 for BYU. Croft this time long and out of bounds. Gaia, tip shot. Ball is up from Livingston. Grimmer Theros with the dig. Penner from the back line. Beautiful swing from Sarah Penner.
Great swing to the corner from Penner. Get a good look defensively. A tip, usually right over the block to the setter, now adjusting. But BYU able to pop it up. Livingston, great job for the freshman. You know, she's one that has stepped in. She had to come in and play middle last night for that one game and showed great poise there, and then has transitioned there to the outside, getting a lot more time than she probably expected after the injury to Hakes.
BYU in front 11-10, thanks in part to 4 service errors early from Gonzaga. Defo. Penner. Dug by Allen. Bauer, bump set, Grimmer. What should we call that attack?
Just a great thank you for being a left-handed hitter. Right, Grimmer's able to come in off one foot there. She's left-handed, and so the block, once again, just not recognizing how far you really have to move cross-court to get a lefty who's hitting cross-court.
BYU's defense there with the block. Ballard-Nixon in transition. Oh, what an effort given by Theros. But her stab attempt goes wide of another teammate and down for a BYU kill.
Terrific pursuit from Theros. Pops that ball up, great job.
13-10 BYU. The ball is alive, and a real nice effort just to keep it up for Gonzaga, and Grimmer, the Zags on their heels a little bit collectively, overpowering the Bulldogs. 14-10, the Cougars on a 4-0 run.
I think you can credit that play right there with how active Whitney Bauer was in the front row last night. Already she has the block, kind of thinking of her as a viable weapon. Even though she's back row, they jumped with her and that opened it up.
The overpass looked like a gift for Ballard-Nixon, but she's just pushed that ball down wide left of the line. (14-11). Needed side out for Gonzaga, but it's short-lived possession. 5 service errors, and we're only halfway into the first set. BYU with a 15-11 lead, trying to close out the season sweep against Gonzaga. You're watching it on BYU TV.
Sarah Penner is going to be found. She's able to get a kill. She has so much control off every single set.
Dodson, quick set in the middle from Bauer, Leilani Dodson.
I think Dodson running in front there. They're in the 3-hitter situation. Now they've rotated into the 2-hitter situation. So now look for Dodson to go behind a lot. We saw last night how good she is off of 1 foot. So she's going to be running a ton of slides.
Croft got the tip on her kill attempt, out of bounds on the BYU side for another Gonzaga point, 16-13.
And obviously I sound like a broken record, but it's that same play, that quick set to the outside, using the block of BYU. Just so successful for Gonzaga right now.
Nixon off the block. Tough set, not much that Russell could do with it. Nixon, plenty she can do with that set on the outside. BYU +4 at 17-13.
Nixon had such a nice follow through. You could see there, didn't take much, just that snap of the wrist to get that ball to go down. A ton of top spin, really right in front of the defense.
Good size seam in that Gonzaga block. And an ace for Taylin Ballard-Nixon. Ball dips down and catches that back line. First ace of the match for the Cougars. Ace is brought to you by Pritchett Bridal, Utah's luxury bridal boutique featuring a full-service hair and makeup salon, your one-stop shop for full bridal styling. Learn more at PritchettBridal.com. Taylin Ballard-Nixon up to another strong start for BYU. The Cougars in front by 5. We'll be back with more in a moment.
If I got hurt and was laid up at home, I wouldn't even think to call a lawyer. What a hassle. I'd want to meet them first.
What if I told you that for your first consultation, your lawyer will come to you, home or hospital?
Really?
Really?
They do that?
If you've been seriously injured, we'll come to you. It's your job to get better. It's our job to deal with the insurance companies and protect your legal rights.
Learn more at siegfriedandjensen.com.
Why do people everywhere love My Style checking? It has rewards you'll flip for.
I love my travel rebates!
With My Style, the spotlight's always on me.
We can send money with Zelle. Good boy.
For me, it's instant issue debit card.
Find out why people everywhere love My Style checking from Mountain America at macu.com.
Taylin Ballard-Nixon for BYU, 17 kills one night ago. On not that many swings, Amy. Her efficiency was off the charts. Having a little bit more trouble getting through that Gonzaga block tonight, but now she's starting to find her rhythm late in the first set.
Yeah, I think as she started last year, obviously that not new to her, but being that go-to player, obviously a new mantle placed on her her senior year, and especially with Eschenberg out, a lot on Nixon's shoulders.
4 kills, hitting 188 at the moment. An ace and a dig. There is that slide for Dodson. Gonzaga ready for it. Bump set to Livingston. Penner with the dig. Look at the effort from Abby Dayton and Whitney Bauer specifically. Zach's trying to finish it off. Tip shot. Dayton again with the dig. Bump set. Bodies flying all over the place. And BYU scores the point.
You know, it's obvious when you watch these BYU players that defense is a big focus for them in practice. It's really hard to dig a ball in front of you. A lot of teams and people can't do that, and yet we saw 4 different BYU players really do a nice job pick up those roll shots and tips.
19-13, Ballard-Nixon long on that serve. Third service error from BYU in the opening frame to bring it to 19-14. Gretchen Rudell to serve for the Bulldogs. Ballard-Nixon from the 3-meter line. It's just beautiful volleyball when that works out. We've seen one from both sides, from Penner and now from Ballard-Nixon.
Right, especially on that outlet, because if you watch that pass, that took out almost 2 players, and they were already in a 2-hitter situation. Couldn't run the middle, so really your only outlet is that back row attack, and it turns into really your first option, how beautiful it was executed.
Croft off high hands and down for a kill. 20-15, BYU with the advantage.
You can tool the ball out of bounds, or you can tool the block, by just extending the court, hitting it hard high off the hands. That gets it over the back row defense.
Alyssa Kim in to serve for Gonzaga. Bauer. Tip shot from Ballard-Nixon coming from that 3-meter line again. And the roll shot finds open space in the floor. Little campfire situation for BYU there. Gonzaga taking advantage.
Well, Gonzaga going over and over and over to that spot in the middle. And BYU's picked up a few of them, but although they've dug them, they haven't been able to really transition as well as they'd like. And so I think that's a nice spot for the Bulldogs.
Lariness on the slide. Tried to go deep and down the line, but that is wide and out of bounds.
Gonzaga really chipping away at this lead for BYU. It's down to 3, and they've got the momentum.
BYU the first to that target mark of 20, but an ace from Kim now makes it a 2-point advantage for the Cougars. That ball had some serious tail spin on it. Moving from right to left, tough for Lariness to handle. Timeout on the floor for BYU and Heather Olmstead. Amy, you were talking about Gonzaga's blocking techniques and how BYU can move options around, in that specific instance with Ballard-Nixon coming from the 3-meter line. Gonzaga's a team that likes to scheme block. So to put that in layman's terms, instead of playing with their eyes, kind of like BYU does, and they move and they react in the moment, Gonzaga is essentially making a guess at where BYU is going to go with the ball, and when it works, it's great, but sometimes you leave some hitters wide open.
Right, exactly. I think there's obviously a read blocking system is when you wait and then you react as quick as you can, and so that's going to open it up. But when you're playing teams that are so fast, then you're going to be late all the time. And so that type of scheme blocking or dedicating or just going with something, at least you can shut down the super quick aspect. But yeah, there's two ways of looking at it. And I think with Whitney Bauer, that puts more pressure on her. If you've got a block on the other side who is dedicating towards something, you've got to watch them all the time and then try to go away from what they're doing.
Oh, the mental gymnastics within this game, unbelievable. BYU trying to solve Gonzaga, and out of the timeout, they go to Livingston, who wanted a touch. I think Heather Olmstead may challenge. She does flash that challenge card.
Taylor Nixon thought that it hit the hair of Gonzaga, so they're going to look for that and see if there was indeed a touch on the ball. Ballard Nixon would say, thank you very much for pointing that out. That really is a pivotal point in this first set.
21-18 BYU. Isn't that wild? Just a 1-point swing, but because of when it happened and how it happened, it just feels massive.
When you talk about momentum, it's dead, right? This is like starting over right now. Super quiet. It's all up to these last 5 points for either of these teams.
Croft blocked by BYU.
BYU usually a team, big blocking team. They're known for that. Last night only 3 teams stuffed blocks, and so what a great time for Grimmer to come up with that. Nothing brings momentum and emotion like a big stuff block.
The Cougars within 3 points of closing out the first set, in control, 22-18. That reverse call kind of took the wind out of the sails for Gonzaga. Everything going BYU's way right now as that ball careens off the top of the tape. And Wasim English somehow finds the floor for another Kate Grimmer kill.
So close to hitting that antenna, but nope, it just attacked the net really, really hard. She hits with a lot of power, and just like that, BYU just 2 points away from taking this first set. How quick things change.
23-18. BYU hitting 257 now for the set. Gonzaga just 158. Both teams couldn't buy a kill early on. We had some very lengthy rallies, and now the offense is starting to settle in on both sides. BYU with a side-out percentage of 60.
The best, you win, right? Because how do you beat that team?
Yeah, inevitably you will be out of system at some point.
Yeah, most of the time actually.
Yeah. Overpass. And the kill by Erin Livingston. One of the 4 BYU Cougars that had double figures kills last night.
And another great serve from Bauer, forcing that overpass and getting them into set point.
24-18, Bauer serves to Penner. And Daya to Croft, dig by Allen. A little touch there by Bauer to keep it alive. Livingston. And a violation on BYU.
It's interesting, I guess they're saying that Whitney Bauer, her first contact was a touch, because I guess if it had been a block, it would have been backward block and she would have been called for that.
(24-19), second set point for BYU in the opening frame. Grimmer! And BYU takes set 1, 25-19. These two teams have played 5 sets now. In a little under 24 hours, BYU has won 4 of them. The Cougars off to a good start on their home floor. You're watching West Coast Conference Women's Volleyball live on BYU TV. BYU takes set number 1, 25-19 over Gonzaga. The Cougars do so, hitting 263. 2 big blocks late in that set to help BYU earn the momentum back and ultimately hold off the Zags in what was a back and forth match until about 2/3 of the way through. Alongside Amy Gant, I'm Spencer Linton. Wonderful to be bringing you West Coast Conference Women's Volleyball in February.
So fun.
Trying to get used to it. The winter and spring calendar loaded up with collegiate athletics, and we are here for it.
Well, I think with this COVID season that all these teams have had. It just makes every time they step on the floor that much more enjoyable. They realize just how fleeting this time is for them to be collegiate athletes, to have the opportunity to compete. And so each time they step on the floor, each match is just so memorable, and all of them are just grateful to be able to function and to play and to compete.
Bauer to open up the second set. Off the block goes Alyssa Hughes. Gonzaga scores first. They won the second set last night against BYU, 25-23.
We look at the defensive effort in that first set. Both teams with 20 or more digs. Just an incredible effort to keep the ball alive, to earn each point and fight.
Bump set from Allen to Grimmer. No problem for that Gonzaga defense. Maddie Allen with the dig attempt. And the kill, well earned by the Zags. They lead 2-0.
And you watch Alyssa Hughes, although she's approaching quick, it's not really her approach that's fast, but watch her arm swing and that follow through. Such a quick arm, and she's able to just get on the ball fast, get it past the block.
Alyssa Hughes with 2 kills on 3 total swings for the Zags. BYU earns the side out. Again from a service error, the most recent from Kennedy Croft. Taylor Hefo to serve for BYU. That's off the block from Chapin Gray. Gonzaga with Hughes and Gray, players that we don't say their name a ton of, getting some early kills here.
Right, exactly, and that's in a spot that we haven't seen, obviously using the block again, right? Hitting high, and I think Gonzaga's done a really nice job to not hit into the BYU block. They've been very smart, kept it high.
Grimmer overpowers Talarico down the line.
That is a bomb from Grimmer. Beautiful swing.
Kate Grimmer now with 5 kills, tied for a team high lead with Taylor Nixon. Upset. Gray well off the net. Ballard Nixon. Overpass. Leilani Dotson all over that. Easy kill for the freshman.
And it's interesting to watch as you watch Dotson take advantage. I think because Gonzaga's been going after hands so much, you saw Grimmer pull her hands to not get tooled there. It was a good choice in that the defense was there, but you got to make sure that the other team's not swinging away. Otherwise, those wing blockers are going to get hit.
Stuff from BYU up front. Dodson and Grimmer team up to shut down Juliet Russell.
Good well-formed block, pressing, closing, no seam on the block. One of the few times Gray tried to go cross court.
Yes, thank you for correcting me. Chapin Gray was the one blocked there. Russell in the vicinity. BYU back in front 4-3. Grimmer. Dug by Tia Andaya. Maddie Allen with a dig, but back over to the Gonzaga side. Out the hit from Penner. Now they switch up sides. Gray, her tip shot. No issues for BYU. That, however, is a big block from Gonzaga that BYU cannot recover from, and a momentum shifting play back to the Zags.
Chapin Gray again in on that block, taking away the line shot from Grimmer. She has a sharp cross, she has a line, and so it's tough for Gonzaga to really zero in on where to line up on Grimmer.
Serves Allen, Bauer, Dodson in the middle.
You know, usually that middle blocker and setter relationship is tough. It takes a lot of time to form, to know, depending on how quick that pass is. So very impressive that Bauer and Dodson have such a great connection when they really haven't been practicing at all together.
Joust at the net, and the size advantage of Gray pays off against a much shorter Bauer for BYU.
Just a little tight on that dig. BYU not able to come up with it.
5-5, set 2. BYU won the first set, 25-19. Zoe Theros to serve. Sophomore from Pocatello, Idaho, goes Nixon side. Nixon will get it right back after she received. The block effective again from Gonzaga. Nixon one more time down the line, right at Penner. And they give the point to BYU. An infraction on Penner.
Yeah, just kind of drawing that net as you can see the block reaching, not in great position. And so if you're not in position with your feet, sometimes the tendency is to reach with your hands, and that only gets you in trouble.
And a point to BYU. Double hit called.
Yeah, that's the first one we've seen in 2 nights. I think last night especially, the refs were deciding to just kind of let him play. It was pretty loose. And so that's the first call we've seen.
7-6 after the service error from Nixon and BYU. For the match, BYU with 4 service errors, 6 for the Zags. And here is Alyssa Kim. The defensive specialist had a nice run of serves in the opening set. Nixon, long, and out of bounds, point to Gonzaga.
Gonzaga really putting pressure on BYU from the beginning of this set, and even in the first from the service line. Clearly that's a priority to try to disrupt the offense.
On the slide, Dodson tools the Gonzaga block out of bounds for a needed side out.
Good pass, good set. Dodson using all that momentum that's carrying her to the right. It just continue to go with it. Both the blocker, the hit, the swing, everything is taking you out. So it's really easy to tool that block.
Ball diving down. Excellent play from Gonzaga after a really good serve by Dodson.
I think there was clearly a touch, although they missed it, so we'll see if there's a challenge play there. And once again, I mean, we talk about these hitters being smart, but to be smart as a hitter, you've got to have the set there. And Andaya has nailed it every single time. She's so good at delivering that ball quick to the outside, just tight enough so her hitters have the opportunity to just kind of swing and wipe it off the block.
Yeah, there's a clear touch by Bauer on the outside. Credit the kill to Kennedy Croft for now, so unless there's another issue, I anticipate that this score and kill will be given to Gonzaga. Well, we have a moment. Let's recap what this BYU team is dealing with. No Kennedy Eschenberg, who has a knee injury, the details of which have been largely undisclosed. Not sure how long she's going to be out of the lineup for BYU, but that's a huge void for the Cougars at middle blocker. And again, clear touch by Bauer on the outside, so this shouldn't take long. But not only that, last night we see Allie Hakes come in and maybe 10 minutes into the match, turns her ankle, unfortunately, really putting the BYU coaches into a scenario where they had to shuffle some pieces. In fact, I heard a funny story last night from the staff that when Erin Livingston came in, she received instruction. She was in the wrong place because she thought she was playing outside hitter. And they said, no, 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 you're playing middle. We need you to play middle blocker. And she said, oh, okay, now it makes sense.
Yeah, I think, you know, Dodson had already been in the outside situation, and so she had to stay in as an outside hitter. They couldn't switch her to middle until that second set. And so Livingston, who is an outside, just welcome. Here's Division I volleyball.
Hope you're ready. And for the most part, they were. BYU winning that match 3-1. Okay, they do make the proper call after video review, ties it up at 8. BYU responds with the slide to Lariness.
Lariness hits a heavy ball. She really puts a lot of power behind it, and so it's difficult to dig.
(9-8) BYU set 2. Bauer. Theros, Sandaya. Tip shot, no problem. Out the hand of Hughes, but Grimmer can't get over the Gonzaga block.
Interesting choice from Grimmer. I think just that block earlier maybe got in her head a little bit. And I think she's going to come out and really swing away next time, being confident that she's got the shots. She just has to swing high and deep and hard, and it'll go down.
Hughes got a hand on that from Grimmer. Lariness, big swing, dug by Tallarico. Chapin Gray trying to play those high hands, long and out.
And a missed opportunity, because what a dig from Tallarico. That was a great up, giving her team an opportunity to swing at the ball again for a point.
Taylor Hefo to Penner, and Daya, and Hughes. Ball never really had a chance into her own side of the net. 2-point advantage for the Cougars.
Good thought, trying to tool the block again with a hard-driven tip, but 2 quick errors and BYU in control.
Hefo to Croft. Gray off the block. There is Hefo. Bauer will set Nixon off fingertips and down for a kill. Taylin Ballard-Nixon with her 7th kill. BYU on a 3-0 run to go up 12-9.
That's a well-placed set from Bauer. Perfect position, allowing Nixon anywhere on the floor. She could have gone line, she could have gone cross court, just a lot to work with.
That time, Hughes finds a seam in the BYU defense. Side out for the Zags to end the mini BYU run, 12-10, Cougars in front.
You saw that swing from Hughes. It didn't have to have a lot of heat on it, but when you attack the corners, there's no defensive player there.
Julia Tallarico. Gray sweep, bump set, Nixon off the net. And Daya opts for Gray. Well wide right.
And I think that play right there, if you look at it, when Gonzaga's off the net, it's a lot harder for them to kind of make those kills and get those swings. When they can keep it tight and close to the net, that's when they're gonna find success.
13-10 BYU. Daya in the middle. Wee there to cover off the block for BYU. Cross court set from Bauer to Nixon. Gray one more time, right at Wee. That ball is up. Tip shot from Nixon. Covers her own block. Nixon takes a steep angle, and that's hit wide right.
And that's that play again. I think with Nixon, sometimes when that ball comes from behind her head, she gets a little, and everyone frankly does, you lose sight of the net in front of you. And so it's important to maybe not swing away on that ball. You got to just keep it in.
Nixon getting a lot of work right now. Gonzaga daring BYU to go to Nixon to beat them against that scheme blocking, and so far advantaged Zags. They're back in it, down 13-12.
Right, if you can limit the opportunities and options a team has, obviously your block can just go set up and be in great position.
Better swing from Nixon, but still wide of the mark. Another error by BYU, timeout on the floor.
Always here for you. And by Deseret First Credit Union. You know why, we show how.
13-all, second set, BYU and Gonzaga, early West Coast Conference women's volleyball matchup. The Zags have rattled off 3 straight points to tie things up. Momentum back with the Bulldogs, understandably, out of the timeout. We'll see how BYU responds. Allen to Bauer, and Grimmer does just enough to get through that Gonzaga block.
I think it's evident, as we saw, that BYU needs to have both pins firing because they need that break. If it's all on Nixon and she's the only one that has to take swings, it's just going to be too much. And so they've got to have both sides. They've got to be able to move it around to kind of not put too much pressure on one person.
BYU catches a break there. Juliet Russell trying to work those BYU high hands on the block. Cannot do so. No touch. And back-to-back points for BYU. Grimmer to serve again. And Daya. And that ball ruled to have touched the court. Allen was down.
I think a good choice from Endaya. And what that does right there is it establishes her as a hitter. And so now the BYU block has to think twice before they release and go to the outside. They've got to stick with their setter, and that's going to open up those hitters.
15-14 BYU. Dodson on the slide. Penner there for a dig. Tallarico, bump set. Croft. 15-all. What an entertaining second set here in the Smith Fieldhouse.
Croft again, and again, and again, just tooling the block out of bounds.
6 kills now for Kennedy Croft. She had 14 last night in 4 sets, hitting 364. And there is a little bit of a streak buster for Taylin Ballard-Nixon, who was struggling for a moment. That's the type of swing and kill that'll help you get out of a funk.
Right, when it's a one-on-one and you've got a ton of court to hit into. Thank you, middle. Thank you, setter, for opening that up.
Ace for Nixon. Her second of the match. Making an impact in other areas, Taylin Ballard-Nixon. 17-15 BYU. Penner. The block from Livingston and Dodson there, but the tip shot throws off the timing of that block just enough.
Yeah, and it's interesting that that play has been so successful for Gonzaga. And it's not that it's quick, and it's not that it's especially well executed. I think just the gap that it falls in is really a problem for BYU to adjust to.
Dodson knew immediately that she just mishit that ball. So a kill from Russell and an error by Dodson of BYU evens things back up at 17.
I think the pass is so critical in this particular rotation.
Service error from Alyssa Kim.
See, and that's a tough one right there, because this is a scoring rotation that BYU struggles in. And so if you know they're in a lineup that's tough, they're in a two-hitter situation, you've got split blockers, maybe keep your serve in and keep the pressure to have BYU execute. And so that, as harmful as it is to miss your serve, when you miss your serve hurts even more.
Free ball to BYU. Tip shot from Bauer. Tallarico ready for it. Another bump set from Bauer. Ballard-Nixon, tip shot, not there. But the dump kill with BYU trying to get back in position is a well-executed individual play from Gonzaga.
Well, and you can see after that pass, Andaya was gonna tip that ball. Everything about her posture said, I'm taking advantage of this.
Lariness on the slide. BYU back in front by one, 19-18.
And this set coming down to the wire, so it'll come down to who can execute down the stretch here. I think both teams have struggled a little bit with unforced errors, and now they've got to tighten it up, because every error from here on out is really going to matter.
Penner, Lariness will take it. Bauer, back set, Grimmer. Andaya, Tallarico. That's a really nice play by Tallarico.
Definitely was. You can see how she got closer to the net, she got lower. She's gonna have to go straight up with it, and so to do that, you've got to get really low, perfectly placed set for the libero.
What a set. Penner, no issues there. 19 apiece. Gonzaga trying to even things up at one set apiece. And Lariness on the other side of the net.
Credit Kate Grimmer all the way. She's not a player that's in the passing lanes a ton, and so Gonzaga really tried to pick on her in that situation, and she nailed that pass. Perfect to the net, allowing them to run the middle.
Lariness with 3 kills for BYU. Very balanced offensive attack once again for the Cougars on this second night of back-to-back matchups. Penner, roll shot. Effectively executed.
Once again, that middle of the court, just a great defensive opportunity for Gonzaga. They're taking advantage as BYU struggles to pick those up consistently.
Creating their own energy and using what fans are allowed into the building to create some type of home court advantage. Gonzaga not getting the point they desperately needed out of the timeout. BYU and Kate Grimmer continue to roll on.
Good set again, Grimmer. Such a great swing inside the block, hard, tough to dig.
23-20. One more timeout for Gonzaga to discuss things. Try and pull off a little bit of a miracle here. Kate Grimmer for BYU, the latest to take a swing just moments ago. She has 8 kills, Amy, 4 digs, 2 blocks.
I think as a sophomore, just stepping into a bigger role this year. You know, she was great last year as a freshman. Not a lot on her shoulders just to get out and kind of make an impact where she could, but you can see how important it is for BYU to have that strong presence on the right side of the floor, because that opens everyone else up. And she has been really spectacular working this offseason, which I guess has been a year and a half, the offseason. But she's developed so many more shots, and she's got such a bigger toolbox to go to when teams start focusing in on you. You know, and they take away your best shot, you've got to be able to come back with something else. And Grimmer really has proved that she's worked hard on that in the offseason and has become a better player.
BYU women's volleyball has become, in a lot of ways, Amy, one of the blue bloods of the sport. Talk about what they've done over the last decade, essentially. Gone to 7 Sweet 16s, a couple of Final Fours, a national championship match. Last year's second round exit was really a shocker. And
I'll add to that, though. Utah last year, in my opinion, they almost knocked out Stanford.
So good.
You know, they were so good. Utah, and this year, so good.
Generational team this year.
Yeah, really, really, you say second round, but it was bad luck. And I think Utah kind of got bad luck as well. Their route, they should have been in the Final Four, in my opinion.
23-20 BYU. Gonzaga again into the net. Some critical penalties here by the Zags late in the second set, giving BYU some points that are seemingly making this lead insurmountable. Our scorebox sponsor today, Brady Industries, a provider of commercial cleaning supplies and equipment. Maddie Allen to serve. First set point is a service error. So at least one more point to be played here in the second set.
Look for the serve now to go at Grimmer. They've pulled her back into the passing lanes.
It does go to Grimmer from Sarah Penner. Dodson in the middle, the block is there. Solo fashion from Russell. Grimmer blocked again. Bauer sends it out to Ballard Nixon. Croft and Gonzaga catches a break there. 24-22.
Obviously missed opportunity. It's tough to gauge. You don't know if you're going to go up for the overpass, maybe a joust. A lot to go on.
Allen receiving this time. Bauer back set. Grimmer. And Gonzaga into the net once again to close things out.
Kate Grimmer really stepped up, made some great plays in the latter half of that second set. Not only hitting, but passing as well. She was in the passing lanes, nailed 2 different passes that allowed them to get a couple points. But it is interesting to look, you know, you I guess need to talk to the men because they played 2 teams in a row, right, night after night, and there's not a lot of secrets by the end of this thing, right? You just kind of have to go out and play, and you figured each other out. You're not going to surprise anybody, and it's just a battle.
Gonzaga would be wise to find our impact performer on the outside, Kennedy Croft. She's got 6 kills on 12 swings, hitting .333, 8 digs as well for Croft, who loves to, you know it, Amy, tool the block.
Right, I think Andaya really has set up Croft. She knows exactly where she wants that ball, and with her set up there on the outside, it's been great.
Taylin Ballard-Nixon, 8 kills. She's really had to work for him. 32 swings, hitting just .094, but she does have 2 aces. That Gonzaga block has largely squelched her, but BYU in response has gone to the likes of the freshman of Leilani Dodson, Whitney Lariness, a sophomore, stepping up big, and of course Kate Grimmer, the sophomore, with 10 kills to lead everyone into double figures after 2 sets.
Right, and I think with Nixon, you know, come in, hey, you're the workhorse now, right? You're going to take a ton of swings. She's got 32 attempts, And so you might have to sacrifice a little bit in hitting percentage when you're getting all kinds of swings. It's not always the perfect pass, the perfect set. You're getting all the junk. You're getting everything. You have a double block in front of you. So there's a big challenge for Nixon as she steps into that role to refine her shots and develop a bigger toolbox.
Into set 3, BYU with an opportunity to sweep. Cougars receive first. Livingston, big swing, nice dig. And an easy call, double hit on Gonzaga to give BYU the first point of set number 3.
Yeah, a little too much spin there from Riddell. But a great dig, and Daya really lining up well on Grimmer.
Taylor Hefo whips out an ace.
Hefo coming in as a serving specialist. She's got a great float serve. She hits it low and flat and deep, and it's very tough to pass.
It was in this rotation with Hefo serving where Maddie Allen last night had the majority of her assists because she was so good with that second contact. They just said, hey, Taylor, take it easy. Let Maddie do her thing. There is Allen, ball at the net. Tip, BYU maintains. Ballard-Dixon down the line, another dig by Andaya. Croft, tip shot, Grimmer over to cover. Ballard-Nixon winds up and throws down a kill. 3-0 BYU.
Good smart plays on both sides of the floor in that, you know, we talked about Grimmer a lot, but she made 2 big defensive efforts to keep that play alive and allow Nixon to get that kill, finish it off.
Hefo having a nice run from the service line early in set 3. It is put to an end by Alyssa Hughes. Hughes has only taken 7 swings, but she's got 3 kills.
And I don't know if it's a reflection on the passing or if it's a plan that Gonzaga really hasn't used the middle as much as they did last night. They found success going quick, and maybe that pass hasn't been up to the net as much as they'd like, but that is definitely an option for them.
Yeah, let's update that stat. Hughes with 4 kills now. Grimmer going down the line. That ball graced the antenna. Easy call out of bounds. Point to Gonzaga, and it's now 3-2.
And a good block for Gonzaga there, really taking away the line. Grimmer realizing she doesn't have a ton to work with and had to be pinpoint on.
Bauer's dump attempt, not successful. Wee diving. Bauer bump set. Nixon. And now she has 10 kills to equal her teammate Kate Grimmer for a team high.
That's a great example there of an out-of-system play that Nixon's gonna step in, take that swing. Everyone in the gym knows it's her. She's got a big block lined up on her. Doesn't have to put a ton on it, but really puts it in a great location.
What a swing from Chapin Gray. It's tough to do that to Maddie Allen, but Gray really laying into that ball.
BYU leaving a big open court, cross court. Gray sees it, likes it, takes advantage.
Tallarico, float serve, Wee all the way up to get it. Bauer outside Nixon, off high hands. Swing high and hard off the block. And Nixon coming into a little bit of a groove now.
Terrific pass to start that off from Grace Wee. She's moving forward, pinpoints it exactly, allowing BYU to really run a quick set to the outside.
11 kills for Nixon. Abby Dayton to serve now. Tough serving by Abby Dayton. Creates the error from Gonzaga, and it's 12-10. Correction, 6-3 BYU. Looking at the wrong numbers there for a second, Amy. 6-3 BYU. The Cougars in front by 3 points. Dayton this time into the net with the service error.
A little miss hit there from Dayton. I think it hit her wrist. Usually, if those go over the net, you know that's going to be an ace, because how do you read that?
Sarah Penner. And an ace.
Boom,
Penner
boom.
with her second ace of the match.
Isn't that interesting? You get like 2 quick points in a row for Gonzaga, and how quickly that momentum changed BYU was once feeling loose and in control, and then right back.
That'll help you get back in control.
Good play, Dotson, great contact, straight down.
(7-5) BYU, Nixon to serve. Penner takes it, and Daya. Cross-court tip from Russell. BYU forced to put it right back. Now a free ball again to the Cougars. Bauer winds up for the first time in today's match and scores her first kill.
Calls her own number there, and that's another great asset to having that left-handed setter. She can just turn and fire, and defensively you're not ready.
Now 8-5 BYU. Gray, dig by Allen. Cross-court Livingston from Bauer. Erin Livingston with her 4th kill. And BYU in front now by 4. They can put it on you in a hurry.
Well, and that was quick. You see how quick BYU's running their offense. Faster, faster, faster. Gonzaga really wants to slow it down, because if you don't really stop this, it can get away quickly.
Livingston looking for another. Croft there for the dig. Penner, tip shot. Bauer all the way over to cover that. Maddie Allen, bump set. Livingston, no touch. Side out to Gonzaga.
There's a big opportunity now for Gonzaga to kind of reset, get that ball back, and chip away at this. Just missing was Livingston hitting that ball.
We will have a challenge from Heather Olmstead and BYU to see if there was a touch on that last swing from Livingston. At full speed, didn't look like there was really anything there, but we'll slow it down. I don't see any, maybe
man.
Just the fingertips
I'm really glad that's not my job.
of Andaya.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh. I mean, that's a fingernail burner.
Oh, wow. That's really tough. Great camera work, though.
Yeah, if this is overturned, that's an unbelievable job by the BYU staff and Heather Olmstead. One, to listen to your players, assess, and then offer up the challenge card. But there may have been just the slightest of touches. And Daya may need to schedule an appointment with her manicurist tomorrow. This one might take a little while because it is oh so close.
Very, very tough to see. And that was a great opportunity that Gonzaga needed. They needed that point to come back and be in control a little bit.
And they rule it no touch. Man, I mean, we were really squinting our eyes to see if there was just the slightest of touches, but it's got to be irrefutable, obvious evidence, and not enough there to overturn it. So the score remains 9-6 in favor of BYU. And the frustration sets in for Gonzaga now, just with the untimely service error. Not all service errors are created equally.
Yes.
As far as the emotional spectrum goes, that's one of those just a killer.
It definitely, well, for so many reasons. Obviously getting the momentum back, but then the rotation again that BYU was in. They were in a vulnerable rotation that they've struggled to get out of.
Croft through the block this time. 7 kills now, that's a team high lead for the Zags.
And Croft again, just in that one-on-one situation, you got to get the ball down, and she has no trouble. Which puts a lot of pressure if you're a middle blocker, right? You have to read block, you've got to be quick to react, and you've got to be involved in every single play, and that's tough to do.
Bauer, right to Livingston. Down the line, wide left. The error from Livingston makes it 10-8. Kim one more time to serve. What were we just saying?
Yeah.
About those service aces?
Just, yeah, it's so hard. It's such a balance, right? Because you can't free ball it over. if you serve too easy, then a team like BYU is just going to run their offense at will, and so you've got to put pressure on. But it's really tough, and that ball was so close. I think they're gonna Gonzaga's gonna challenge to see if it was indeed in.
Okay. I don't blame them, knowing what this point could potentially mean. BYU in front by 3, 11-8. This would take it to 10-9 and keep the momentum with the Zags. 9 service errors as it stands for Gonzaga in the match. The majority of those came in the first set, but some critical ones here in just a few moments, part of set 3. So there's a look, Amy. What do you think?
I think it's close, but to me it looks out.
That ball looks
very out, yeah.
And it's tough because the way the court is designed, the Y with that white paint is right next to the white line, and so.
But I think the fact that you could see some blue in between, it should be a no-brainer. But I think Gonzaga needs to go for that because this is a critical time for them to make a run and get that momentum back. They're right in this set. And I think kind of has found BYU's weakness, but they've figured it out, but they haven't been able to exploit it quite yet as much as they'd like to.
There is the call. Ruled correctly in the usual pace of play and confirmed, so it's 11-8 BYU. Whitney Bauer, sophomore setter, back to serve for BYU with the left hand. Our scorebox sponsor, Brady Industries, a provider of commercial cleaning supplies and equipment, finds BYU with a 3-point lead, make it 2. Gonzaga with that tip shot, the tips and the roll shots, with the space that BYU's defense has opened up at times, has been effective for Gonzaga.
Yeah, that middle of the court, just a big open defensive hole for BYU.
Livingston, Croft recovers, and Daya. 3-ball back from Hughes. Bauer, quick in the middle, and there is a huge block by Gonzaga. Timely effort by the Bulldogs defense.
Lining up right there so well. Alyssa Hughes tracking her middle, getting right in on it.
I don't know what else to say. Every time it feels like Gonzaga is going to climb the hill, equal things up, make a big play. There's another service there. That's 3 in the last 6 points.
Yeah, that hurts when you're fighting so hard to get the ball back.
12-10 BYU. Penner tooling the block of Grimmer specifically. Lariness was there for BYU defensively as well, but advantage Penner with her 6th kill.
Great swing again. Penner so good at tooling the block. And Grimmer in pretty good position. You could see, she's pressing back towards middle back. Maybe a little lower might help her out a little.
Grimmer off hands. And Gonzaga whistled for a net infraction. Diane Nelson wants an explanation for that specific call.
Yeah, because how many unforced errors at the net have Gonzaga been called also? And so kind of just working really hard, but then hurting themselves in little things.
And again, BYU in front by 2, 13-11, set 3 up, 2-0. Allen has the green light from the up official to serve. She will do so to Tallarico. And Daya, back set, Penner! The roof from Nixon and Dotson. I mean, that was ultimate denial.
Well, and that's an interesting choice to swing away for Penner because that ball's going into the net. You've got a huge block in front of you. Usually she elects with a higher swing, and you could tell she kind of thought, wait, why'd I do that? But it's sure fun to block.
Gray, oh my goodness, this ball might make it, does not. What an effort from BYU defensively. Those stab, dig attempts. Love the effort. Gonzaga will absolutely take that point to bring it to 14-12.
Oh, beautiful effort. Good job, Grace Wee in the back.
Tallarico. 5 service errors. 15-12 BYU. The Cougars up 2-0 on Gonzaga. 3-point advantage in the third set.
Well, and right now, if you look at the stats, Gonzaga out hitting BYU. Gonzaga's hitting 300 as a team. You know, only 1 error. So offensively, not the issue right now. It's the unforced, the service errors and the net calls just not working.
There's a block, Penner and Juliet Russell there on the net. Now we'll see if the serve goes in.
Well, I think what's great for Gonzaga is everything else is working, right? Everything else is firing how they want it to, and they just need to kind of clean up their serves.
Opportunity for the Bulldogs, but the BYU block responds. Golden opportunity missed for Gonzaga there to climb within 1. Credit the BYU defense for rallying and coming up with the block. Bauer at the net this time with the primary contact there. 16-13. Penner receives from Nixon. Tallarico, bump set, Gray. Block there for BYU. They'll reset Gray. Livingston, that ball is playable off the air duct system.
It's so interesting. It happens at every level of volleyball, right? The longer you have, I think the full conversation was had between Maddie Allen and Abby Dayton. You want it? Me? You? Me?
Dump attempt. Gonzaga ready for it with Gretchen Rudell. Allen will set Livingston. That's hit long, and here we go. Gonzaga has climbed to within 1. It's 16-15.
And this is that play, right? This is the rotation that BYU struggled with. So if I'm Gonzaga, don't miss your serve. Let BYU really struggle. They've struggled to side out in this rotation, and so don't let them off the hook.
You couldn't even finish the sentence. 17-15, Rudell long with the service error. You just feel for Diane Nelson because she knows how hard her team is working to steal this third set and just see what happens. Push it to 4 and keep playing. Lariness sets Livingston. What a dig by Tallarico. Tallarico was there on the slide for Lariness, didn't need to cover there, and Gonzaga has again come within 1 point. Scrappy defense.
And I think the BYU block is moving around so much, they're struggling to get set on their block. And so because Gonzaga is transitioning so quickly, it really prevents the defense for BYU to get in there and really be ready and stopped.
Alyssa Kim to Nixon. Bauer goes right back to Nixon from the back row. Dig by Rudell. Tip shot into the center of the floor once again.
But the question is, where else was it going to go? There was really no other place that could have gone. Whenever that set gets past the antenna, you know, obviously at Kenkel line, there's only a certain number of angles that ball can go.
17 all. Gonzaga has fought back to tie it in set 3. Livingston is denied. So in spite of the 5 critical service errors and then the Cougars go on a road trip to Malibu and Pepperdine at Firestone Fieldhouse, followed up by a trip to San Francisco, Bay Area, into Stockton against Pacific, and then circle your calendar for March 19th and March 20th. San Diego, the other ranked team in conference, in the West Coast Conference. There is an ace out of the timeout from Alyssa Kim. Gonzaga up 2 points now, 19-17. But regardless of what happens here today, it feels like it's going to be a race between BYU and San Diego again in the WCC.
Well, and I think, you know, that's why they decided to play one at each other's house so that there wasn't a clear advantage.
Lariness is blocked. Allen there to cover on the dig. Livingston. Gonzaga and Penner. Lariness still can't solve it through Hughes. Tip shot, Abby Dayton there. Bauer to Livingston, push down the line, and that is a critical kill for BYU.
Really long rally there, a lot on the line momentum-wise, and for BYU to finish with a kill, that just starts to get their offense going, got them above 0. BYU hitting 0 as a team for their offense. You know, being in this third set was really just due to the errors on Gonzaga's side, not anything BYU was doing as far as feeling like they were in the groove and their tempo was working.
Penner hits it long, tied at 19. Well, the sets in this second match probably to be expected much tighter than they were last night because these teams, again, no secrets. They know each other well at this point. Back-to-back nights. Croft goes through Lariness and Grimmer to give Gonzaga the lead, and they're the first to reach 20 in set 3.
And this all comes down to a game to 5, who can execute, and those errors are just going to be so critical to keep them down.
Bauer, back set Livingston. We're tied at 20. Livingston tooling the block, high hands.
Love
Taylor.
Livingston's confidence, right? Because to me that didn't look like a clear tool, but she's gonna sell it. Land, cheer, run to the line, hey, leave no doubt.
Taylor Hefo, the service specialist in for BYU. Penner. Grimmer there defensively, she'll get it back from Bauer. Unorthodox, but effective.
Well, interesting, I think Grimmer just a little discombobulated the whole time. Anytime you touch a ball and then have to turn around and play it, that's tough enough, but then she got the set. So she's able to get a kill with no approach, and fantastic work.
It all counts the same in the kill category. She has 12 now. BYU back in front, 21-20. Momentum swinging back and forth in the third set. Right now with BYU, Kate Grimmer hitting 375. Already mentioned.
Shut down that particular play, and what a time to do it. Terrific movement from Nixon to get right in on that.
Hughes access denied, 22-20 overpass. BYU closing in on the sweep now. Grimmer! Just eats up Tallarico on the line.
Tattoo down the line. What a swing, and Tallarico, what a great defender. You know, she's gonna get in there and she's gonna take it. Not a lot of line to hit into. Grimmer didn't have a huge opening, but takes advantage.
Timeout on the floor. BYU 2 points away from the sweep. Love the competitive nature of Julia Tallarico. It does not feel good. She looks quickly at her teammate, says, I'm good.
Let's go.
I'm fine. Let's keep playing.
It still hurts. You know, like, but the thing is, we've all had it. And she's dug so many balls, and to do that, you've got to be fearless. I mean, how many of us facing Kate Grimmer on the line would just dive off the court, right? But she's gonna stick in there when she sees opening and dig the balls.
Tallarico, 14 digs, 3 assists. Senior defensive specialist is every bit the part of that title, a specialist. The Cougars remain in the huddle. There's Heather Olmstead. Talked about the 109 consecutive weeks that BYU has been in the rankings. The lowest that BYU has been ranked under the tutelage of Olmstead and staff is number 17. And I believe that's where they started this season. It was either 16 or 17, jumped up to 14, now up to number 12.
I think that consistency, it just means that night after night, you know, you're putting forth the effort year after year. You're able to bring in players that are committed to the culture at BYU and that winning mentality that just getting here is not good enough, right? We have to create a team that wins.
23-20, BYU needs 2 points for the sweep. Hefo with the big dig. Bump set Allen, Ballard Nixon. Handled by Gonzaga. This time Hughes gets it through the block with Lariness and Nixon in the front.
Hughes hitting quick and BYU a little slow to get their hands over the net and press. And although they were lined up really well, because they were just that little bit late, and Hughes so fast with her arm swing, she gets it right down the front.
Big point for Gonzaga, 23-21. Gonzaga seeking a substitution to put Penner back into the rotation for Theros. How do you handle these unexpected breaks, Amy?
I can't even figure out what's happening. Just maybe a little, well, and Penner can't come in, so.
They're going to leave Theros on the floor. Croft right back at it from the service line. Wee receiving. Oh, what a huge mistake by BYU. And the Zags have new life, down 23-22 in serving. Timeout, BYU and Heather Olmstead.
BYU struggling on that pass, and then just too tough. What a great opportunity for Gonzaga. They are able to get that sub. Penner gets back in. She's their core, she's their leader. She's gonna be that go-to player, and they want her in there at the very end.
We'll show you our block of the match presented by Bodyguards, protection for a life worth living. Learn more at bodyguards.com. Senior outside hitter Taylin Ballard-Nixon, second set. Big time block to help BYU close things out and take a 2-0 lead. Denying Penner. Nixon and the Cougars trying to close out the sweep here. They were up 23-20, but have surrendered back-to-back points and have in turn called a timeout to try and figure things out. You look at the hit percentages, Amy. BYU 188, Gonzaga 183. The blocks about similar, 7 for the Cougars, 5 for the Bulldogs. Aces are +1 in favor of Gonzaga. So the Cougars, again, with the 2-0 lead, because they've been clutch in late moments, but now the Zags trying to take a page out of BYU's book and be clutch here late in set 3.
Right, and so I think this pass becomes so critical for BYU. They've struggled offensively, and so you don't want to add to that struggle by being out of system. You've got to stick that pass and allow Bauer to run her offense and craft her offense and not just be chasing the ball down. I think what Gonzaga's going to want to do is really serve Nixon right here.
Croft goes to Wee. Bauer. Back set for Grimmer. Off the block. Croft is there. Penner. The tip shot blocked by BYU. And a tough play. Gonzaga unable to keep that off the net. So it is a match point for BYU, 24-22, searching out a sweep.
Fortunate fall right there for BYU. Can they finish it off and take advantage?
Penner. Dug by Bauer. Maddie Allen bump set to Nixon. Croft, no issues with that. Opportunity again for BYU to finish it off. Taylin Ballard-Nixon wraps up the sweep. 25-22 in set 3. BYU moves to 5-0 on the season. The 12th ranked Cougars remain unbeaten.
And what a set from Bauer to not only get that to Nixon, but to stay out of the net. Credible finish, and Gonzaga, credit them, they fought the entire time. Although this finishes in 3, it didn't feel like it. It was very tight from the very beginning.
Ultra competitive match. 25-19, 25-22, 25-22, BYU victorious. There is Kennedy Eschenberg out with the knee injury, celebrating with her team, and the Cougars obviously missing their All-American, but figuring out ways to take care of business in